Hello, and welcome to the Jews Doing Jewish Things podcast. Today, I want to do a special episode focusing on one character. It's one of my favorite characters. His name is Eric Lencher, also known as Magneto, and I want to talk about what he means to me as someone who's Jewish. He's canonically Jewish. In the X-Men movies, we see that he's a Holocaust survivor. It's quickly shown in the first ever X-Men movie, but an extended scene is shown in X-Men First Class, which is about the young Charles Xavier and young Eric Lencher and how they kind of became Professor X and Magneto, respectively. So, Magneto is very much an anti-hero. I find it personally hard to put him in a box of like, is he good or is he bad? Because he flip-flops so much, especially in the movies. This is a discussion about the movies because I know them way more than I know the comics. Yeah, I'm working on that. And honestly, I think the flip-flop is a result of just lazy writing because he's known as a villain. So they're just gonna push him forward on that because he's just had some really good like character arcs, and then the next movie he's a villain again. It's just like stick with it. So the first thing that I wanted to talk about is a quote of Eric's, and again, it's prompted by lazy writing. It's missiles are kind of shown at them, and Eric, who's has magnetic powers, stops them. And Charles Xavier says they're just following orders. Like they couldn't have worded it just slightly different, just to not make it obvious. I don't think they give the viewers enough credit that they would get the analogy. But Eric says, "I've been at the mercy of men, just following orders. Never again." So never again is known as like the phrase when talking about the Holocaust. Never again, never letting anything like that level happen again. And he's experienced horrific things firsthand, which makes some of his anger justified. Do I agree with the way he went about it? No. But there were things like in the second X-Men movie, people in power wanted like there to be like a list of all the mutants. That upset Eric because for many reasons, but one of them being that he'd been in a situation where he'd been on a list and just as a Jew and just kind of watched and been like, being on a list here doesn't have any positive connotation, only negative connotations of just like, these people are a threat, something to be scared of. So in X-Men The Last Stand, we see a mutant ask Magneto, the mutant's name is Callisto, asks Magneto why he doesn't have any mark to show, like as if he's not proud of being a mutant. And Eric says, "I have been marked once, my dear, and let me assure you, no needle shall ever touch my skin again." That is one of the most powerful lines in the X-Men movies, in my opinion. It really shows, it just shows his character and his values of something terrible has happened to me. The tattoo of the numbers on his skin, anytime that's shown in the movie, it's a really powerful moment. It's not brushed over, so I give the credit. There's not just these intense scenes though. In this sentiment, there's one of my favorite scenes in the whole movie where Eric is tracking down Sebastian Shaw, who's a Nazi who killed his mother in the concentration camps, and so he's looking for him. So he goes to Argentina, where a lot of Nazis fled to, and he sees these two Nazis, and he starts talking with them, and he asks them, like, "What do you do?" And this I didn't notice, like, on first watch, and it was actually from reading about the movie that I made the connection because it was explicitly stated. But one of the former Nazis says, "I'm a pig farmer," and that he's like referencing Jews as pigs. And basically the scene ends up with Eric attacking Nazis and being like, "I'm your worst nightmare," basically saying, "I'm your worst nightmare," which was a really awesome scene to see. Just this powerful character just not taking it from anyone. And he says that he's from like the same town, and they're like, oh, what's your parents' names? And he said their names were taken away from them. And anyone who's studied anything about the Holocaust knows that while in the camps, Jews were just called by their numbers. They were basically just like taken, any human identifier was taken away from them, and they were just pushed down in any way possible. So it was really powerful as granddaughter of a Holocaust survivor and as a Jew in general to just see this powerful mutant character who's Jewish and proudly Jewish. And I hope that when eventually Marvel takes it into the MCU, into the Avengers kind of universe, that this time they cast a Jewish actor, because that's something that I think was missing. I hope you enjoyed and have a good one.